Hello there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, just put hashtag pajama in the comments below so I know it's the first time you're seeing me in my lovely rollers or hearing my voice if you're listening to me on the podcast. Today is day 152 of the Daily Scare Share. I'm doing one thing a day that scares me from the book, Do One Thing a Day That Scares You. I've already done 152 plugs for this book. I don't know if the authors know it or not. I hope some people are going out and finding it, but I just thought of that now. Wow, 152 times I've plugged and showed the cover of this book on Facebook Live. Anyway, today is one of those days with the blank lines. I know, not only did I show it to you backwards, but backwards and upside down today. How cool is that? But it doesn't matter because all it says is, today I think I can. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Who can hear the phrase, I think I can, and not think of the little engine that could? If you're not familiar with that story, today's challenge is go out and find a copy of The Little Engine That Could and read that book. I'm sure it's available on the internet and online nowadays. Almost anything's available on the internet and online these days. If you want to just Google it or go out and search for it. So when I see these blank lines, do I do? And how do I think about, can I get out of the rut I'm doing, stretch my comfort zone, like doing a Facebook Live in my curlers? What else can I do today to move me toward whatever it is that I want? Now, I'm working on building online businesses because I've come from the traditional corporate America, brick and mortar world, and I know you're laughing right now because you're like, all right, lady, you're old, you're wrinkled, and you're sitting there in your freaking hot rollers. How can you tell me you were a successful corporate executive? Well, I was, but then I had a massive heart event and a health event and decided that I needed to change my life. And part of changing my life meant finding a different lifestyle and pace that worked for me and was centered around what worked for me and my health, not what worked for everybody else. And that was a big leap of faith, by the way. Just like my leap of faith a year and a half ago now to take everything off of the traditional way of doing business and jumping onto the internet and creating my own online presence. And part of that is me being me, and me as the Pajama Grandma, and sometimes I show up in hot rollers. And every day this year so far, except for not a couple of days in the beginning of the year because I didn't get challenged by my daughter till a couple days into the year, I'm doing one thing a day that scares me. One thing a day to stretch my comfort zone, get me out of the rut and the boring life and the existence I've been living, and move me toward my goals. And the big goal right now is creating a massively successful online presence and online business. So today, I think I can. What comes to mind when you hear, I think I can, I think I can? So often, the first thing that pops into our head is all of the reasons why we can't do something. And I'm fortunate to have been raised by a father and mother that were awesome. And my dad, one of his main sayings all the time that he was, my sisters and I were growing up was, there's no such thing as can't. There's no such thing as can't. That has been ingrained in my being and ingrained in my soul and brainwashed into me. And since it's such an awesome, empowering belief, I choose to keep it. I choose to believe that there's no such thing as can't. I believe that there's infinite possibilities. There's infinite ways of doing things. We just have to be open to looking for them and be willing to see them. And the only way you're willing to see them is if you say, what else is possible? How can I? I know I can. If anyone else has ever done something that you want to do, then you know that you can do it too. All you have to do is go out and search out and find somebody that's done what you want to do and then model what they do. Or ask yourself the question, what's it going to take? What's it going to take for this to be possible for me? What's it going to take for me to make this happen in my life? So those are the kind of things I'm going to ask myself today, and I encourage you to ask yourself today. Again, if you want me to run through a list of those, I know I can. How can I? What's it going to take to ... What else is possible? What else is possible is one of my very favorite questions. Love that question, because that, by being willing to ask myself what else is possible, it's opening my mind, which sometimes, like everybody else's, is pretty darn closed to something, and it's just inkling in and breaking a little crack in my hard rock shell to say, oh, maybe something else is possible. What else could be possible? And then if somebody else has, if blank can, I can too. Who else has done something I want to do before? So today, I am going to, as I mentioned a few days ago, create some sort of an offer and offer it to my folks. Because every day the rest of this month, I'm going to create and put some kind of an offer out there, because I stink at making offers. I stink at doing calls to action. So when I stink at something, I lean into it, and I am going to make myself do it and figure out how to do it. Same thing I did with these Facebook Live videos. I, just like everybody else, you guys, was scared to death to do a Facebook Live video. I didn't want to do one. So what did I do? I did things like I put in my hot rollers, and I just turned on the camera and I did my Facebook Live in my hot rollers. And I did a couple other crazy things that I'm not going to talk about because it embarrassed my family. But you can go back and look at some of my previous videos and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I actually went out and did things on purpose that were scarier for me to do a video, so that I could prove to myself that I could do a video and I wouldn't die. And each time I did a video and I didn't die, and I'll tell you, every time I get off a video, I think to myself, that really stunk. That was horrible. Every single time still. But that keeps me doing them because I know I want to get better and better and better at it. So when I think I can't do something, the first thing I do is I go out and I take a step toward it and I prove to myself that I can do it and that it is possible for me. So that's our message for today. What do you think you can do? What do you think you can't do? Because you know, whatever you think you can't do, I guarantee you can. If you're brave and there's something you think you can't do, put it in the comments below and we'll have a little conversation about it. And I will prove to you that you absolutely can do that. Because my dad taught me there's no such thing as can't. And since he was my hero, I totally believed him. I still totally believe him. And I have made that true and possible in my life. And you can take that belief and adopt that into your life as well and see what an incredible difference that makes. Go out, have a fabulous day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.